Greetings, Judah. DFG here, Gideon's Flight. Hey, this message is for everyone, but in particular, this message is to the men of Elohim, the brothers. Let me just call you to my brothers, at least the natural brothers, not my spiritual brothers, because if you don't serve Elohim, then you're none of Elohim's. Therefore, you're not my brother spiritually. But this message is to, I guess, to both. Let me clarify that. But I just want to be specific and I want to be definitive. If you're Israel, one of us, and you don't serve Elohim, then you're not really, truly one of us. Yeshua brought that out. If you remember, if you study in the book of Matthew, when he was confronted that, hey, your mother and your father, your brethren are outside and they're looking for you and they want to speak with you. And at that time, he was fellowshipping with these so-called, people in his community, his neighborhood, however you want to say it, okay? They weren't really, they were in his neighborhood, but they probably had come from faraway places as well, because when they heard of the truth, as they did in the days of Enoch, they searched out him who was bringing out the truth. And the same thing happened with Yeshua. When they heard, or the people heard, that there was a man bringing out the truth, they searched that man out because they wanted that truth. And they would not leave that man, at least many of them wouldn't, as long as he was bringing out the truth. Now, when he quieted down, we know some of them scattered. But that was by the will of Elohim. But to stay on subject here, he said to those people who came to him and said, hey, look, your family, they're outside. Your blood relatives are outside. They're looking for you. He said, wait, time out. I don't want to hear that. Matter of fact, he rebuked him. He said, look, he didn't say Satan, but he almost said, get behind me, you person of confusion. You double-minded person. Because he said, those who is my mother, father, brother, sister, he said, those sitting amongst me right now who want to hear the word of Elohim, my father, and those who want to do and keep the law, statutes, and commandments. In essence, the word of Elohim. You don't keep you don't keep the laws, the statutes, commandments of Elohim, you're not Elohim's. You might be Israel. No denying that. If you are Israel, okay? Negro. If you're still going under the term that your oppressors have applied to you as a nation of people, you, Israel, but you're not necessarily Elohim's if you're rejecting the truth. And my sisters, my brothers, your brother's just going to bring it out as I always have done. Like I said before, I'll lose a couple of subscribers. Go on. Bye-bye. Nice seeing you. But more will come to replace you. I'm saying? Those who love the truth will replace you. So, bye. But back to you, my brothers, my sisters, who want to hear the truth. But in particular, my brothers. I want to forewarn you again. We're living in the days of great tribulation. A time like no other time before in the history of our people. We're under siege, we're under attack in every kind of way a person could be sieged or under attack. And the only people who want to talk about it is the so-called revolutionaries. But you should be listening, or not you should be, but we should as Israel, talking about the men of Israel, the mind, body, and Rahuk men of Israel. We should be crying far out, aloud, much louder. Our voices should be like trumpets. I mean, everyone, everywhere you go, as soon as the conversation gets struck up, we should start talking about Elohim. We should start talking about the people of Elohim. And we should start reminding everyone, the heathen included, that this battle is not to the fast or to the strong, but it's to him who dared to the end. In other words, Elohim is with us, and your days, their days, are coming to an end. And if you're Israel, and you're still serving the ways of the heathen, your days are going to end right along with that heathen or those heathens. And one of the ways that the heathens have used you, many of our brothers, sisters included, they have used our women to get us off the pathway of Elohim. They send these women in all of their adorning. And these adorned women come and they set these snares and these traps so that our men can literally take their eyes off Elohim. Talking about men who were seeking out Elohim. End up taking their eyes off of Elohim and putting their eyes on these women. And then all of a sudden they start to compromise their walk. They start to compromise the message. And in return, damning themselves or placing themselves, damning their souls unto destruction. These are the facts. This is happening around us all the time. And my brothers, I'll say to you, you need to be aware of that. Satan will use our women as the number one weapon to turn us against Elohim. And that's pretty disappointing if you think about it. Your father is very disappointing when you think about that. Because you have to ask yourself the question, how is the thing that he gave us to love now being the things that the enemy is using against us to separate us from him who gave her to us to love? It's because she's under deception in many cases. Now, you daughters of Zion, you sisters who love Elohim, obviously, you know you're not a weapon against your men. And you live that walk. You profess it all the time. I am a daughter of Zion. I love my brothers of Zion. I cry for my brothers who are deceived by the wicked daughters of Zion. I grieve in my heart for those brothers. Oh, and I despise my sisters who entrap my brothers and get my brothers to fall off the pathway and cause sin before Elohim. We saw that, with King David and Bathsheba. Well, David should have been out there doing the work of a man of Elohim, fighting with his men. He was at home, sitting back, playing PlayStation, Madden, or whatever the hell. Okay, a little bit of an exaggeration, but not far-fetched. Well, he should have been out there doing the work of Elohim. He was at home. And what happened? The enemy used Bathsheba as a snare, a married woman, by the way, to cause him to what? Commit adultery and murder, which caused his walk with Elohim to be compromised. Because according to our book, because of what David did, divisiveness and dissension never left his household. One of his sons raped his own sister. Another son tried to overthrow him, tried to kill his own father. And many other consequences because of, David's behavior, because he took his eyes off of Elohim and he allowed a woman, to come in and distract his walk. So I forewarn you, my brothers, be aware of the snares. And you, my sisters, whose hearts are pure towards Elohim, do not allow yourself to be a snare against your brother. You should be encouraging your brother. You should be saying, hey, tell me about the word. I want to hear about the word. Tell me about the walk. Tell me about the talk. Tell me what thus says Elohim. Because ultimately, you are my first teacher. Talking about the men, the fathers, the spouses, the husbands, the leaders. You are my first teacher. I'm talking about towards Elohim. I'm not talking about the mom who teaches the child how to, brush the teeth. Our book told, Joshua, you go back and read it. Teach the people. Teach the people. Put the word on the doorpost of your home. Encourage the people, lead the people, train up a child in the way he should go. This was directed to the men of Elohim. So that's what your first goal should be. And sisters, that's what you should be encouraging him to do. And if you are in a position, well, you are still in a place where you should be seeking, or you are seeking, should be, are you seeking? Hopefully, praise Yah, you have a man as a covering, as a blessing, as protection and provision. You should be encouraging that man, hey, live out your purpose. And his first purpose is to serve Elohim. But I go to that because I want to come to this. And I just want to make sure that we're level setting this morning. I want to make sure we're level setting, that we're keeping things even. I want us to have equity. So when I bring this out, I don't want anyone sitting around pouting in your feelings, female or male. I want you to be open-minded to the truth, because therefore, as our book says, you shall know that truth. And why is it important to know the truth? It's important to know the truth so you're not held in bondage by wickedness. A few days, this world is going to be celebrating Halloween. One of the most wicked celebrations. I mean, all of their holidays are wicked. I'm talking about man's holidays, the heathens' holidays. But when you come down to Halloween, it's probably it's probably the number one. Probably closely behind with Christmas and Easter, etc., etc. But many of our men are going to be celebrating, encouraging their children to participate in this. In total darkness. They are in darkness. They are not training. They're not learning. They're just a bunch of followers. They're, in essence, many of our men are going to be blind leaders of the blind. In other words, leading blind women to damnation, encouraging this wickedness, and passing it down to the next generation, unfortunately. You better pray that y'all don't come on October 31st and catch you doing what you're doing. Because he said many of them, when Elohim returns, he's going to catch many of these people out there partying with the wicked and with the heathen and doing all the stuff in the world, all this worldly shit. He said he's going to catch them unawares. That's your book. But he said the good man, the man who loves Elohim, was watching his house. He wouldn't let a thief come in his house to rob him. He would protect his house. In other words, we should be sealing ourselves with the word so that we can protect the people that we love, so we can make sure that we are honorable before Elohim in our purpose. And that we would know the difference between what is evil, Halloween, versus what is good, Passover. Praise Yah. But many of our men have no clue. They love the things of this world, therefore the judgment of this world is going to be equally applied to them, equity, in total damnation and destruction. But let me pull this thing in, because the purpose, I want to go back to the book of Enoch. I want to share something, just a small verse of scripture with you. Really a small chapter, what it is. And then we're done. But I want you thinking, sisters, do not cause your brothers to violate Elohim through your behavior. Men, do not allow yourself to succumb to evil, to wicked women, because of your lust. You got to resist that. Be honorable towards yourself. See yourself, your body, as the temple of the Rahuk. All right? And if you're the temple of Rahuk, you don't lay with whores. Just saying. Amen? My mother used to have my mom. Y'all know I'll quote her from time to time. She was full of these things. You don't, he said, if you lay down with dogs, you're going to come up with fleas. He said, you can't make a silk purse out of a hog's ears. You use dogs and pigs as metaphors to remind, her children that you better know the difference between who's from Elohim and who's from Satan. Amen? Find you a virtuous woman, or upright, upstanding woman, a woman who wants to grow, who wants to come out of the world and present herself as a beautiful queen, a Esther, not a Vashti, who just wants to be, with one of the girls. Impress her friends about how bad, how much she has, and how no man has no control over her. And the little silly behind got tossed out of the damn castle. And Esther supplanted her. You know what I'm saying? Because Esther understood her role and her power and her influence. So you sisters out there who have influence, use your influence to build the kingdom, not to tear it down. Use your body to build up your men, not to tear them down, not to turn them away from their purpose. And their purpose is to serve Elohim with all their heart, mind, and rahu. That's the purpose of the brethren. But let me give you this, and then we're going to move on. The book of Enoch, chapter 19. Y'all go back and you follow up on this, my sisters, my brothers. Then Uriel, one of the archangels, said, "Hear the angels who cohabited with women, appointed their leaders." He says, you know, here on earth, there on earth, these women who cohabited with men, appointed the leaders, and assuming many forms made men profane and caused them to err. Now what did it say, these women assuming many forms? Changing their bodies type, breasts, lips, butts, skin color, lightening their skin, damaging their hair by adding things to it, any kind of thing, utilization of makeup and jewelry, apparel, dressing in a way that caused these men to err. That's what it means when it says, assuming many, verse 2, 19 and 2, Enoch 19 and 2, and assuming many forms made men profane and caused them to err, so that they sacrificed to devils as their Elohim. So they found the gods of this world, customs, rituals, traditions of this world, and that's where they participated. That's what they sought to do, including your Halloweens, your Christmas, Valentine's Day, all of these things. These women cause these men to err, and these men do all these things in many cases to please these women. And don't get me wrong, sisters, a lot of these men are just wicked any damn way, and you know, you're not responsible for them. Hell, they're the ones might be encouraging you. But according to the book, and we're gonna let the book speak. We're gonna let the book be true. Many women who were possessed by devils caused many men to turn away from the true Elohim and started worshiping and serving false Elohims, false gods for the ignorant out here. So you know what I'm talking about. He said, "For in the great day of judgment, when this is all said and done, with which they shall be judged," talking about judgment day. He said, "until they are consumed." In other words, these women cause these men to err, and these men have been doing this generation after generation after generation to this current generation. And they're teaching their children, and if Yah doesn't come back soon, their children are going to be foul and doing the same thing that their mothers, grandmothers, great-grandmothers, fathers, great-grandfathers, great-great-grandfathers are going to be doing the same wickedness. From one generation to the next generation to the next generation. Cursed, cursed, and cursed. Damned, 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 and damned. Except you come out and you break the damnation by turning back to Elohim. Praise Yah. You have to break it. You have to resist Satan. Amen. For which they shall be judged until they are consumed. And their women also shall be judged. So sisters, you know, you can cause these men to fall using your body, you know, your seducing powers, your charm, your charisma, your job, whatever it is you're using to get a man or to get your men. Instead of encourage that man to go the way to Elohim, get him to walk away like Jezebel so that you can be in charge, you're going to be judged. You're not going to get away with it. His ass is going to be damned, and you're going to be damned. Who led astray the angels of heaven, that they might salute them. And I was talking to a sister the other day, Sister Hammond, and I was telling her, I said, look, these women led the angels astray. It wasn't the angels. The fallen angels did not lead these women astray. The women led the angels astray. The women caused those angels to fall as they're causing many men to fall today. Again, if you're a sister of Elohim, this does not apply to you. But if you're a wicked, worldly woman, your ass is guilty as charged. And you had better repent before you burn in hell. Sure, I lost 2 subscribers just now. And I, Enoch, and I alone saw the likeness of the end of all things. Nor did any man see it as I saw it. So my brothers, I'm going to say to you, if the people don't have to agree with us for it to be the truth. Y'all can show you things that most people, I don't see that, I don't agree with that. That's just his opinion. Okay, no problem. Don't worry about them. That's the same thing they said to Enoch. Enoch said, look, I saw it, but they didn't see it like I saw it. They saw it another way. They saw it because they let the world tell them, oh, no, don't believe the book, or they just religious, whatever. Man wrote the book. Look, he said, brothers, don't get dismayed when that happens. Not the first time. Enoch walked before Elohim, and Elohim showed him these truths. That's why they hid the truth from us. They don't want you with the book of Enoch. But Enoch said, don't be dismayed. They ain't going to see it like you see it. Because why? They don't have eyes to see. They don't have ears to hear. Yeshua reminded us that. He said if they had eyes to see and ears to hear, they would accept the truth. He said, but because they don't, they're going to believe the lie. And they're going to lead Elohim's men astray and into damnation and their children's children's children. If someone doesn't stop the madness. Our purpose is to stop the madness, my brothers. And my dear sisters, your purpose is to encourage, support, and align yourself with us to stop the madness. And if you choose not to do this, then you are the madness. DFG, talk to you guys soon. Bye now.